everyone. In this lecture, we're going to go through the main topics in workplace visualization, which is a core technique used in lean production. And our learning objectives are to understand the concept of visual management in lean production, list the 5 major components of visual management, and to identify and discuss techniques used to achieve visual management. So as I just said, the workplace visualization is an important technique of lean production systems and a key tool for communication, enabling flow and helping to eliminate waste. Workplace visualization means that all important information about a workplace is clearly visible and understandable. Anyone who enters the work area then can quickly see what is done there and how it is done, can see the current status and understand if there are any problems. And critically, the visual management tools have to belong to the operating team and be updated as quickly as possible, hopefully daily. Visual management goes hand in hand with the 5S that we will see in the next section, and is also closely related to the idea of Gemba, as we discuss later in this course. Workplace visualization should accomplish the following 5 goals. 1 is to show identity and location. Number 2 is to display status. Number 3 is to communicate the standard process. Number 4 is to show performance against targets. And number 5 is to communicate change and improvements. So the first goal, show identity and location, can be done with visual management and is an excellent tool for improving your housekeeping. Showing identity, for example, requires clear labeling and orderly storage. And we're looking in this lecture at all of real examples from companies that have implemented as part of their lean transformation visual management. So here we're looking at clearly labeled materials placed in an orderly fashion on shelves or in the storage area. And what is this bringing us? What kind of wastes are we eliminating here? Well, you can already see that a waste of motion, waste of time, searching for items, waiting for replenishment products. You see clearly if there's a product low, you can replenish it. Clear labels also prevent the wrong item to be used, which then would prevent defects. Another good example for visualizing identity and location are floor markings. These are a very common way of showing where items should be located. So here, for example, you have the floor markings to show where this lacquering trolley should be located, or in this corner you have some chemical casks. And here even you have a little location to show where the vacuum cleaner should be located. Now, labelings then can be color-coded or can have special symbols. For example, very similar when you have your trucks are carrying hazardous chemicals, you have a very clear label, very color coding, depending on what country you're in, to say what type of hazardous material is being transported. And so I added here one of the most clear and easily recognizable identity labels, which was Mr. Yuck, which was put in my home all over medicine bottles and cleaning liquids. So if you saw the Mr. Yuck, you knew that what was inside was poisonous. Another good example for showing identity and location are these tool racks. So you have a tool rack, but instead of just throwing the tools on haphazardly, can you see here, you have labels for the tools. And they have, hooks in a nice orderly fashion. So you can see where like the cable has to be attached, or the extension cord. And you can see here also you have the labeling also on the back wall. And every tool has its place and it should go back there. This is a manufacturing plant in Germany. And here's a picture of a shadow board. These are also a common way of storing equipment. So what you have is a shadow of a hammer painted onto the board, and then you have a hook. You have a hook for each of these things, the screwdrivers or the wrench or whatever. And if one is missing, you see the shadow. So it's very clear to see if something is missing, and very easy to see, you don't have to read the labels, where you should replace your hammer. The next goal of visualization is also to display the current status of an operation. And this can ensure then timely action to resolve problems. And the most common example in Lean is this famous Anden light, which I've drawn over here. This typically sort of red, yellow, green status light. And here we have some photographs from production. The Anden lights use flashing lights and often even audible signals, like certain tones, used to draw attention to problems and detect abnormalities. So if you have an equipment breakdown or some processing problems, there's a cord or a button which the operator can then pull, and then a very visual and or audible signal will occur to hopefully, enable a quick fix of the problem. So it's a manual stopping of the line. And what's very interesting here is the origins came from the original automated loom company. So these looms from Toyota Sekichi would stop immediately if one of the threads broke. So the machine itself could distinguish between a normal situation and an abnormal situation. And it's important because as soon as there was a defect, in the case here you have the operator that would then push the button or pull the cord and the line would stop. And of course, that means nothing can be produced at that time. But you're avoiding producing defective products. You're avoiding additional waste and drawing attention to the problem so that hopefully the fix is quick and you can continue processing your good product. Another example is to display inventory levels. Here we have, for example, the amount of inventory in different silos, 1,000 kilograms per different products. So this could be raw materials, for example, so you could see if the planned production schedule is feasible. You could see if you're about to run out, and you could have maybe critical levels listed so that there can be more material ordered or parts ordered if necessary. And again, this type of thing should be updated daily.